Hey, what's happening, guys? Mike Moo here. Today I'm going to do a little review about the Aura picture frame, and this one is in particular is the Carver model. This is a 10.1 inch, and you can check out the details about that down below. I purchased this myself, did not get this sent for review. I am a former professional photographer, and I appreciate things like this, even though I also like prints. All right, enough about that. Our picture frame is something that I came across while searching the web for picture frames to see, what's out there, what's really good right now, and is there anything better than the really cheap ones that you can find online anywhere, or formerly Fry's Electronics. Yes, there is a difference, okay? So you pay a lot of money for this picture frame. It's not cheap. It's not like a $40 picture frame, but here's where some of the differences are, okay? So one of them is that this has a online portion of it. You can send pictures directly to the unit. This also makes a really great gift because they make the experience super duper simple. When you get the box, all right, it comes in this nice little box right here. It says Aura on it, and it's basically, you could wrap it up and that's pretty much good to go as far as gifting. In the back here, there's actually some instructions on how you give this unit as a gift, where you can send pictures to it, where you can invite friends and family to send pictures to it. You can send pictures ahead of time. All right, now before we continue, this frame does need to be connected to the internet in order to take advantage of all the features on here. All right, so you will need to make sure that the person you're sending it to will have internet. Otherwise, you might as well just get a picture frame and load on an SD card a bunch of pictures. Okay, so there is a unique gift setup code. You can set it up beforehand so that it's ready to go. So all they got to do is plug it in, connect to the internet. You can set it up beforehand, and there is a gift setup option on here on the QR code, so that you can have your pictures that you want to send over to them done immediately, or maybe you have copies of pictures that they have that they want loaded on there, or if you're just giving it to someone who is not technically inclined, all right, and you want them to get up and running right away. Again, they still need internet though. So it really is easy and effortless in terms of sharing. You download the app, you follow the steps, you connect to the Wi-Fi, super simple. Then you can invite friends and family to go ahead and add pictures in there. And the good news is that it's unlimited storage. This will also connect to your Google Photos if you have, and other various cloud accounts. I forgot which, I'll go over some of those things on there. The model that I have here is full HD picture quality. So it's basically 1900 by 1200, which is a little bit more than full HD display. It's got a 6.5 inch custom power cord, which turns out to be, I believe, just a 5-volt cord with a unique DC barrel head. And let me know the reason why I know that is because I actually did not have the AC adapter. I contacted their customer support, and they just said, look, we don't sell them, but just give me your info, give me your serial number, we'll get one shipped right out to you. Now that is great customer service that you don't necessarily see on any other brand. All right. Frame size here, it's a display size of just over 10 inches diagonally. Frame size is 10.6 by 7.5 by 2.5. In terms of, is that really 2.5? It feels more like, it feels a little bit more. I'm looking at this. Maybe there's just an optical, yeah, it's probably an optical illusion. And it also has intelligent photo preferring feature, which put similar photos side by side. That's really cool. But the box is really simple. You open it up and you basically have the unit itself and also the power plug inside. So I'll show you what that looks like. I have the gray one displayed down here, and I think this one in here is a white one. So I'll show you exactly what that looks like. Here we go. So it looks like this. It says happiness starts here. There's different frame colors and models that you can choose from at various different price points, but I believe the Carver is the only one that is 10 inches. Okay, so the other ones are a little bit smaller, but they have some really cool looking frames as you can see over here on the rest of the screen. So user guide is actually pretty nice if you need to figure out certain things about it. And also one thing that you may want to know is that there's actually a reset switch down below. And if you run into some issues, you could do a reset switch, or you need to get it out of for whatever reason. If you get it in some sort of mode you didn't want it to, you can do it. All right, another thing, the screen quality is actually really great for a photo frame. Now notice I said a photo frame. Now this will actually display videos if you have a live, okay, what's the caveat, right? Not MP4 videos, but you know how on the iPhone you can take live photos and basically the photos move a little bit? This will actually display that just fine too. So it'll link right up and display those well, okay. But the caveat here with the display quality is it's good, but here's the thing, it is not OLED good. All right, to get OLED good, it's going to be a lot more expensive. And unfortunately, what that means is that if you have a lot of photos and you're looking at it in a dark environment, right, basically at night, and then a lot of your photos have black in them, the black contrasts aren't going to come out very well. Now I'm looking at most of these photos and it looks fine during the daytime, but at night or when there's nothing displayed or it's just black, it's not going to show just black. It's not going to be as good as basically what an iPhone can display. So there's that too. Another thing is all the photos have to be loaded through their app or online. Okay, so you can't actually just take an SD card, plug that right in there. You actually have to go online, send it out through the interface, basically through your phone to get it there. Your phone, or if you uploaded Google Photos, it'll link right over to that too. And then this is not a touch screen. All right, that could be good or bad. You know, some people who are using Windows computers, they're used to touch screens, and you know, you want to touch a swipe and do all that thing, or you want to zoom in on that thing. You can't do that. And there's probably some other picture frames. Well, let's just say you have an old iPad, for instance, that you could just, you know, do that and zoom in, look around, manipulate. Can't do any of that on this thing. But it does have a touch bar. So with this touch bar, I can swipe left or right to switch the pictures. See that? Switch left to right to see the pictures. If I want to do something else, I can just hold down the button on top, and then it gives me a bunch of other options on here. Okay, so I can turn off this picture, I can remove this picture, I can close the screen, or if I just do a quick light tap, it'll give me details about the picture. So if you have GPS information encoded in your photos, it will tell you, or tell the person who's tapping it, you know, where you were, or where this picture was taken, which is pretty cool, because if you have other people who are, this was in Hawaii. If you have other people who are just checking out your pictures and they're kind of curious where this was, you can tell them exactly, or they could just tap up there and they'll say, oh, this was taken on January 9th, 2021, who was shared by, and then it tells you where it was. This was in Hawaii, in East Honolulu, okay, and then what date and time. So that's pretty cool too. You used to, when you print out photos, sometimes you can have those things printed out in the back of the photo, but that's not always supported, always the case. So that's kind of cool. Right, so those are some cool things. It's pretty unique look. It looks really nice, and it also has a light sensor up here, so that it'll adjust it based on, you know, whatever activity you have. Now, a lot of the intelligence actually comes from the software that is in the unit. Okay, the software can get updated. It needs a connection online anyway. And it's actually, a lot of it has to do with the functionality through the app. All right, so I've only used this specifically on the iPhone, so I'll show you what's going on over here on the side of the screen. And then you can see that the power of the app and the connectivity online is what makes this really special. So over here you can see that I've loaded 570 photos. It was actually a lot easier than it sounds. And as you can see, I've also added a bunch of other photos recently of some food that my wonderful wife makes or has made for us. And you know, if I'm going through here, what I can do is like, hey, I want to show, you know, this delicious meat thing that I did. I can go here and click on show now. So then this will just display the photo shortly through the power of the internet and through the yeah, there you go. See that? So it takes maybe about 3 seconds, right? So I can share this specifically. And then if I needed to crop this photo so that it will show a certain way, better, because we take photos, you know, sometimes in portrait format, sometimes you want to crop a little bit closer, sometimes you took a photo that wasn't ideal and you want to crop it, but you didn't crop it on the phone, or you didn't want to do a permanent crop, for instance, I can just position the crop. So for instance, let's see if I can pick out an example from here. All right, let me go back a little bit further. Let's say, let me see if I can find an example here. There's a little crop function. Okay, so here. All right, so this photo taken with my wife's latest acquisition. This is a cute little boba cup. All right, and this is something, let's just say I want to crop it a little bit more. All right, I could just position it to a certain, okay, so I'm going to do a closer crop so the picture shows up even bigger when it's shown on a screen, and then I could just click save. Now notice at the very top there is a portrait and a landscape option that I could choose too. So if I want to show it in landscape option, that's one way to do it. But if I keep it a portrait option, that's also tells you roughly what it's going to look like when you crop it so that it fits appropriately on a picture frame. So I'm going to click on save, and obviously you can rotate photos too so that it shows up properly. So now when I show this picture of me holding the boba cup before we adopted this boba drink for home, there you go. So now, even though I'm clicking on showing it, it's showing it like this, but I can actually, when it's actually automatically displaying photos, it'll put it side by side with something else. And if it remembers or it knows that you took a picture roughly around that same time period or location, it'll actually put those other pictures side by side too. So that's something special that you can do using this app that would be a lot more fussy if you attempted to do it on a picture frame, for instance. And I haven't seen a great picture frame that can do that. So this is kind of like a remote control from your phone that then you can go ahead and access and adjust. Now, the great thing about this too is that, let's just say I got this frame and I gave it to my cousins, all right, all the way across in Taiwan. Okay, I could do this for them on those photos. Like if I got invited to, I can add those photos and I could do that for them, okay, and beforehand. So everything will display perfectly, and you can add all albums at a time. You can look at the activity of what's going on. You can share a reaction, and you can even comment on here. So if I needed a comment, if I just wanted a comment on something here, I could just type in a comment. Pictures look great. So if you have, your group of friends, your family, whatever, and they just want to go ahead and it's kind of like your own favorite group of people, and you want them to go ahead and join you and comment on it on your own little cloud picture frame, you can, and that's pretty cool. Okay. All right. There are some other things that you can do on here. Let's see, photos. Okay, so you can adjust some settings. Right now, there's only me on here. I invited my wife to add photos in here, but see, she's not super techie about that. She doesn't really care. So what I could do is also that when I'm adding, all right, there's also a smart timer function, so to adjust the photos and when it displays. When it detects that there's someone there, the detection thing, it'll take cues from its environment and change the photos. Okay. Each time Aura wakes up because of the light or someone entering the room, it will display a new photo. Okay, so it's not just stagnant and stale. That's the smart function. But I have it set right now auto advanced, so every 15 seconds it's going to show a different photo. So that's pretty cool. That's not something everything has. So live photos, display mode, like I explained, when you take a live photo on your phone, and it'll display the couple of seconds of the video. Now, I don't believe there's sound on here. At least I didn't see any sound. So it's going to be a photo that does not have sound. Intelligent pairing mode basically will figure out related portrait photos and display them side by side. So if you took a couple of portrait photos in sequence, it'll display them side by side. So there's some variety on there, and it's just a little bit smart in figuring that out. How smart? I don't know. I did look at some of these pairing modes, and it's not necessarily by location. Okay, so those two photos just back there were in completely different locations, but it's the same person. Okay, I don't know if it knew that, but that's what it did. Okay, so look, it figured out somehow it's the same person. I don't know if there's facial recognition in there or not, but in general, it will just pair up to that it thinks that'll fit well together. And sometimes I'll be like, I wonder why those things were paired together. it's still a nice option to have, and I think it's great to turn it on because otherwise you would lose out on most of the screen. Oh, one thing to note, this does not have a portrait mode, so this is not meant to be put this way at all. I suppose you could, and you can force switch the stuff, but this was not designed that. So that's one of the things that you need to consider, is this is really designed to be landscape mode. All right, device auto on and off. When it turns on and off, probably basically you can run it on a schedule, or you can just set it so that, hey, once everyone leaves, it's dark now, it'll automatically turn off. But you can set a smart schedule too. So you don't need to waste so much electricity or waste showing all this when there's no one there. Okay, so that's pretty cool. Remote control option here. I could just literally remote control what's showing on the screen from the phone over the internet. Okay, so that's actually one of those other cool things that you can do better on here that is not an option in a lot of other picture frames. All right, so a lot of other cheaper picture frames, they might have a remote control option, but that's really going to be like an infrared type of thing where you point at it and then you switch. It's just not as powerful. So those are some things. One other final thing too, and maybe this wasn't very clear, but you used to have to pay monthly to get some of these features. I believe, okay, I'm not gonna mention any of the companies, but you used to have to pay monthly to get these features, to keep it. So you're paying for unlimited photo, whatever, sharing on these picture frames. You get a bunch of them. Everybody can share pictures with everybody else, and you guys can all enjoy them in the comfort of your home without looking on your small smartphone or screen or iPad, and that's all included in the price already. So yeah, I don't know how they're going to be able to continue this up. Maybe it's just the storage technology is so cheap that it doesn't cost them hardly anything, or it's already all built in. So that is definitely a benefit. Okay, there's nothing, it's kind of annoying when you give someone something and then in order for it to function properly, you got to pay a monthly fee. That's really annoying. And that's the reason why some of these picture frames became like, look, let's just keep it local, stick an SD card and you're good to go. But then you lose out on all these other cool functions and functionality that can be upgraded later. All right, so now there's one major con. Here's the thing. Aura's doing well right now. I mean, they're very popular, and I believe they were on Oprah's favorite things out there. Okay. What happens when our company is no more? When will that happen? Not if, but when. Then this becomes one of those extra things that then you just kind of throw away because there's nothing else you can do with it. Unless someone is able to hack it, or unless the company decides to open up the API for people to be able to configure these to do something else. So that's something you got to keep in mind. So when you pick out the price of it, know that this is not going to last forever. Right now, everything's good. Aura is doing great. Remote picture frames and gift-giving picture frames, I think is a great gift. And yeah, so that's a real con to consider. Okay. All right. So that's it for my first impressions review. I've only had this for about a week or so. I'm really liking it. One other thing. Okay. So photos. Let's see. I want to show you the add photo function. All right. So you can choose from the camera roll. And then you can choose from your different albums, and then also Google Photos. So that's what's supported right now. It doesn't look like they support Facebook. Okay, so if you upload, you share a lot of photos from Facebook, Instagram, all those things, it doesn't pull it and put it in here, right? For that, you got to get something like the Facebook portal, which I have over here, which is an okay picture frame. Not as good as this, but I got the portal because you can communicate on the through the video camera on here, and that's not something that you can do over with the digital picture frame. And also the picture quality is not as good. This will show videos and actually have audio, so that's another thing. This is primarily a picture focused device, but it does it very well, and you definitely pay for those features. All right, that's it for this review. Please do like, subscribe for more, and I'll catch you next video. And thanks for watching. If you're interested in this product, I have links down below, and let me know what you think about it. All right, catch you next video. Thanks for watching.